Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima and I'm here checking out Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, everybody. That's a weird name, but it's also a weird game, so I guess it counts. This is a roguelike. You know me, I like my roguelikes, and by roguelike I mean it is Shiren the Wanderer style roguelike and not the Binding of Isaac style roguelike. Most people don't really know what roguelike means, but well, there you go. So, this is going to be interesting because I have to admit it's a surprisingly easy roguelike. It's actually kind of bizarre, actually, just how easy it is. I mean, I am playing on normal difficulty, but all that really changes is how hard the enemies hit, according to the game itself. So, we'll get into the game. We'll actually look at it and examine it first before we really get too deep into things. And as you were able to see on the save screen there, my playtime has been about 4 hours, which isn't actually that much for a roguelike, but in this game's case, I think I've seen everything I need to see. Yeah, the initial load time is a bit of a shocker, and it's got loading screens between everything else as well, but thankfully they're a lot shorter. Although this initial loading time made me think the game was broken at first, because it's actually kind of bad. This is a digital copy of the game, which that reminds me, I have to say thanks to PlayAsia, because I wouldn't have been able to afford this without them. Voucher and link in the description, but let's just go over how cute the fucking Chocobo is. Holy shit. If you want a game where your protagonist is the most adorable little bird in the world, this is all you need. Look at how adorable he is. Look at their feet, look at the little tails, look at the eyes. Yes, you are actually playing as the bird. As the Chocobo. And you are just infinitely adorable in every imaginable way. Now, I haven't actually unlocked the next main dungeon yet, so we're actually going to go and watch some cutscenes before we are able to go and hop into the game proper. It shouldn't be much longer before I can hop straight in, but for now, let's just go. Just look at him. Look at him, he's adorable. And the cutscenes make him... Can I actually... There we go, yeah. And the cutscenes are even better.
Ha! Welcome! Want a hot cocoa? It's the best in town, but... Hey, Maya. Maya, wake up!
Welcome to Dardola's Dining! Oh, something smells oh my goodness! Is that a batch of Stella's homemade biscuits? Yeah! Thank you so much! To tell the truth, I've been a huge fan of these biscuits since I was a little girl. Miss Stella's been making biscuits for...
Oh no.
Oh, what was I talking about again? It was... I'm so sorry. I've had the memory of a goldfish lately.
There it is. I should have known that was going to be a thing. So, before we go and hop into a dungeon, which is probably not going to be a very good dungeon, we're going to have a little bit of a wander around town while we're here, because we can demonstrate the majority of the game's mechanics while we're just having a little bit of a look around. But yes, the Chocobo is adorable in every single cutscene. It really is just thoroughly impressive just how cute they've managed to make this goddamn bird. Alright, so you got the fortune teller, who I haven't used because there doesn't seem to be any point. We can go to our storage facility. I don't actually have any items in storage, but if you go fishing, you can actually give this guy fish, and that's how you get more stuff.
Thank you.
And notably in this game, even on normal difficulty, if you die in the dungeons, you lose all the items you're carrying. So, yeah, you do want to store items that are important. You can also buy things like books, and you can sell pretty much everything that you're carrying. I'm not going to sell any of this because, honestly, this is a... Wow, that's actually a really good flower. This is all pretty good stuff. No reason for me to do that at this point. Is that walk cycle, man? I want a Chocobo as a pet now. Wait until you see him go fishing. You've got fishing supplies down here.
Welcome.
You've also got medicines, which are basically just potions. Poison, silence, blindness cures, basic stuff.
Welcome to Florida.
You can also buy mystery seeds, and, well, that's basically food, but trust me, food doesn't matter in this game as much as you might think. But yeah, you can also buy mystery seeds. I've already got 4 planted in the garden back home, so I don't need to worry about them right now. Church is over there, but I haven't seen any need to go there for anything yet. And the rest of the map here is... All the stuff on the left is currently irrelevant. Why is there a black Chocobo here?
Chocobo.
What's with the sudden jump cut? Okay, another memory dungeon? Oh, no, never mind. It's bizarre, I haven't seen the game do that yet. Just a random cut to another person. So you've got the Forge. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Shire and the Wanderer style roguelikes, there is a few things you can do here. Apparently I need to find the Oracle of Order, but we can also hone stuff. So if we can hone these by spending some money, and these will make them more powerful. You can also try and hone something that's already at its maximum hone level, but there's also a risk that it'll fail, and we do not want to deal with that shit, so we're not going to do that right now. You can also remove brands, and brands are those little icons you see down the bottom right. For example, the No Blind Saddle can protect against rust and makes it so I can't be blinded, which is very useful because it means I don't suddenly lose accuracy. And you can also fuse items together to swap their brands into other items. So you can fuse just a regular old pair of talons with a pair of talons that has a fire defense, and you will gain extra fire defense on the basic talons. It makes sense. At least I hope it does. I have no idea what the Mog here. He catches shoplifters red-handed. That would explain why there was a bloody thief's memories on sale at his shop. And we also have up here this guy. You can buy and sell him stuff.
This is Harry's home.
Oh no. There it is. Should have seen that coming. Thankfully I can still buy shit from him. You can buy some pretty basic stuff here. Appraisal glasses, teleport wings, and blessed rosaries are all very good, but I don't have the money or the carry space for them. And you just got a bunch of houses over on the left here. So let's go back and actually start working on the story events, shall we? Yeah, so here's the problem. we currently have someone who's got a Remembrance Dungeon here. A Remembrance Dungeon is a special kind of dungeon. It's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They have this annoying tendency to be really easy and uninteresting dungeons, but unfortunately that's the only content I've got to show you right now, so we're just going to have to go hop in. I probably could also try and go to the Fire Dungeon, but this probably won't take long. It'll probably be a decent demonstration of the game's mechanics anyway, so we'll see what they have, because these often tend to be challenge dungeons with weird little things, like you can't take items in or out most of the time, but it's usually something like you have to kill every enemy to get to the next floor. Yep, the Dungeon Hero talks to you from time to time, and he'll give you some interesting advice. Yep, I have figured out the grid. I don't need to worry about it, thank you. Okay, it's not a challenge dungeon. That's actually kind of nice. So, I'm going to take the time to explain this stuff here just while I'm here, because, well, there'd be no real point to it otherwise. You have jobs, and jobs have a slight effect on your stats. So, let's have a look here. The Black Mage will make me way stronger in magic and mind, but I lose attack, defense, and HP. Meanwhile, the Knight gives me more attack and defense, but less magic and mind. You level these up by playing them in the game, and when you do, you get more abilities. So I've got Power Smack, which is just a stronger attack. I can attack everything around me. I can attack something and make it slower, and then I can also cast Protect on myself. So Knight is very combat-focused, head-to-head combat-focused. While the Black Mage has all the regular spells, plus Sleep and Drain from leveling up. So basically you're more focused on long-range combat and letting your partner do most of the work. Or your buddy, I should say, that's what they call them. Your buddy also has their own stats. They also inherit some of your stats. So some of your baseline stats and your equipment stats get inherited by these guys as well. And you can take along basically anybody you like. So the idea is that when you defeat enemies, sometimes you get buddy points, and if you get enough buddy points, you unlock the ability to take them along with you. So I had to go through a special dungeon which was nothing but these bomb type enemies. So I have a bunch of their dudes just lying around. And we can have a look at what he's strong against, what he's weak against, and how his stats are influenced by mine. You also see their ability. Every monster, every buddy that you can take along has one ability. Just the one. And if you want to use that ability, you can. You can use it pretty much any time. Who was that? I'm going to actually take a dragon with me, because that has some good stats. But yeah, you can take pretty much anybody you want along with you. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going to be ahead of me, so I can't really make any intelligent decisions. But yes, your buddy will follow you like this all the time. They will almost never be more than one space away from you. And you can also just push them along like this. And they do serve as a very useful defensive wall. And you also have the ability to trigger their ability at any time by holding the L button and pressing plus. Actually really useful, being able to just do that without having to worry too much about it. So we're just going to wander into the dungeon. At this point, not much else to do. So if you've ever played Shyren the Wanderer before, a lot of these controls are going to be very useful to you. This is actually... Ow. This is actually very similar to Shyren the Wanderer's control scheme. You use the A button to attack. You use the analog stick or the D-pad to move around. You can move diagonally. You can force diagonally with the R button. You can press the X button to bring up the menu so you can check your items. You can use your abilities. You can see how and your buddy are doing. You can see what's on the ground. You can even see your buddy registry, although you can't actually change buddies while you're here. You have to do it at the blue statue. Your key options and your key items. Here's your options. You can also play a two-player game, which is nice, but I imagine that's just taking control of the buddy. And some basic stuff here, nothing too out of the ordinary. And you've also got bookmarks, which just let you return to the title screen if you need to stop halfway through. There are some other controls, like pressing the, what button was it again? B button does let you run. And just, there's just a bunch of really simple Shire and the Wanderer style controls. And that's pretty much the entire thing, because this is more or less the Shire and the Wanderer formula. There's only one downside to it though, we'll get to that shortly, but let's talk about just how the game plays in general. It's actually pretty decent. Let's use Dragon Breath. It is a skill, it takes SP, but Dragon Breath hits 2 spaces in front of it, so it's actually pretty damn useful. Because you can hit, in this case, 2 enemies at once. Sweet. And I completely missed that attack there. You can tap the Y button, just like in Shire and the Wanderer, to face the, I think it's the nearest enemy, or the enemy that just attacked you. It's a little bit inconsistent, but thankfully this is a turn-based game. The enemy only moves when you do. Super hot. So you don't have to worry too much about taking all the time you need to formulate your strategy. And I guess now that I've brought up the strategy, it's kind of the time to bring up the game's overall difficulty and complexity, which is the game isn't very deep. Now, I know it's a bit weird saying that, because it does seem like a relatively deep game on the surface, and there are a fair few mechanics in there, which makes it definitely not a thin on the ground game. There is definitely still a fair few neat mechanics. You still have to identify items. You have plenty of status effects. There is things like being able to run on the... Oh dear, Hunger Strike missed. Thankfully, because your buddy doesn't actually have to worry about hunger. It's only you that has to worry about hunger. But yeah, you've got hunger that you have to worry about, but it drains actually really slowly. I didn't even notice that I was running on 0% hunger, because even when your hunger does get down to 0, the HP drain from it is like next to nothing. You can just heal it relatively easily. But yeah, you still need to eat. And I'm just going to use Dragon's Breath. There we go. Thankfully, your buddy's turn doesn't count as your turn, so if you want to have both people attack, you just do that. Oh, I can't carry Warp Wings? Damn, I need those Warp Wings. We'll just eat these. No reason not to. And, give me this shit, please. Thank you. As I was saying about the mechanics, you can also kick items, which is basically just throwing them. But there is definitely... If you're used to harder roguelikes, like me, because I've been... Well, I haven't been trying to get back into Shire and the Wanderer recently, but I've been waiting for the opportunity to give it another go. And... Well, there are a lot of mechanics that I end up missing. There's things along the lines of, storage pots. There's things along the lines of, like, the abilities that you can only use at night. I mean, night in general. A bunch of really fancy item interactions are missing. It's mainly just, like, what it says on the tin and nothing else. There's no real discovery, I've found. Everything is pretty much exactly as it says on the tin, which is kind of disappointing, and also makes the game kind of repetitive. Especially early on, when you're going through these Remembrance dungeons, you have to go through like 4 of these. And each of them is so simple that it feels like you're playing the same dungeons over and over again. And then you get into the actual dungeon proper, which is the fire dungeon. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's called like the Gateway to the Firekeeper or something like that, you know? It's just... It feels really repetitive to start with, and honestly, even when it does get to the extra... When it does get to those extra dungeons, it doesn't get much better. That's Polishing Green. I want to use that, but thankfully I can just use it right on the ground. And it will hone my stuff. It's basically a free forge, which is actually pretty good. Alright, I forgot. I can't attack from diagonals because it's kind of shit like that. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, since you don't have much in the way of jobs to work with either, you're just kind of stuck with the night for a lot of the game to begin with. it means that you just end up in what feels like a really repetitive loop of dungeons. And it gets really boring really fast, I've got to admit. It does get slightly better when the town starts opening up and you can start fishing to get more consumables, and you can get things like flowers. Like, you saw that I bought the mystery... Oh, they were stinky greens. That's unfortunate. You saw that I actually have some flowers here. Like, it grants a small number of JP, job points. Or it can resurrect me once per floor, which is actually really useful. Like, God, you have no idea. It just makes it relatively dull when you're going through the same dungeons, or at least what feels like the same dungeons over and over again. There are some mechanics later on, like, there's a... what's it called? There's a trap that's on the floor. Traps in this game are also not really that dangerous. So, I'll just explain what traps are. You walk over them and they have an effect on you. They can be anything from... what's the word I'm looking for? Dangerous to actually helpful. Like, you can walk over a trap that gives you half your health back. It's weird. There are also... like, there's a trap right there on the bottom left. I'm not stepping on it. God, no. Couldn't carry gold saddle. Is there anything here that I can... Oh, stinky greens. Great. Oh, bugger it. I'll eat one so I can take that. Steam trap. The trap fails to trigger. That just does damage. Pit trap, which means I probably immediately fall to the next floor. Funny that. I was just about to say that the invisible traps don't actually come up too much, but no, they actually come up a fair amount now that I'm on camera. You know, let's just take this guy out while we've got the chance. There we go. But yeah, traps aren't actually that dangerous in this game, especially in certain circumstances. Like, for example, the explosive traps only take off half the health based on what you have. So, just as an example, say I've got 100 health and I step on a explosive trap. It'll take me down 50 health. But if I step on an explosive trap when I've only got 25 health, it'll only take me down 12 health. This is so bizarre when you're going through the special bomb dungeon that they require you to go through. And you're taking absolutely no damage because your health's already low from stepping on a bunch of bomb traps in the first place. It's really bizarre. Just little things like that that make the game much easier. Whoops. That's not great. You can attack to see traps, but there seems to be no way at this point to actually see traps automatically, which is what I usually go for because you kind of need to in games like this. The problem with that is... the problem with the traps being invisible is that they're almost impossible to predict their positioning. So you just end up not worrying too much about them and dealing with them as they come. Nevertheless, there is also some weird stuff going on. Like, most enemies will drop job points and buddy points, and the buddy points will often drop right on top of you for some reason. So you actually have to go off the space and then go back on it, because you'll have no idea that they dropped on top of you until you walk off the space, which can be quite annoying. Let's use an ability for this one. Screw dealing with all three of these guys. Easy done. So yeah, I've ranked up with the Flan, but that doesn't actually get me anything because I've already ranked up with them a few times. I will give the game some strategic credit because there are definitely situations where you'll want to take along a certain kind of buddy. Like, for example, the bomb dungeon I was talking about. You'll definitely want to take along someone that can either, like, stun them so that they can't self-destruct and explode, or someone that'll be good with magic so that you can take them out in one shot every time that you feel the need. What's on the ground again? It's ether. You won't worry about it then. So you just end up picking, like, relatively reasonable buddies because they end up relatively being needed, but of course you can't really tell what the challenge is going to be until you actually go in, which kind of sucks. Thankfully, you get to use their abilities and junk a lot. Like, look how fast their SP regenerates. He's already gotten, like, a full SP back since I fought the last dude. Really should learn to press the Y button to target enemies. Of course, the old chestnut of just drawing them into a single hallway and find them one by one is definitely the most sensible thing to do. Let's go down. There just isn't that much to it, unfortunately. There's also a couple of things that they've cut back on in regards to, like, a more traditional Shire and the Wanderer game. Like, you might have noticed, but your level in this game is actually consistent all the way through the game. So, the more you level up... Oops, stylish collar. That's probably worth a lot of money, at the very least. So, we might as well see what this grainy drink is. Eye drops. Those would probably cure... Those would probably cure blindness. But yeah, your level in this game is consistent. It carries over between dungeons, which is actually kind of a surprise. The only dungeons that you don't actively level up on are dungeons that are like challenge dungeons. So you end up, what's the word I'm looking for? Challenge dungeons where they force you to stay a specific level. And that's pretty much the only dungeons in the game you don't actually level up on, which is I gotta say, it's just a little bizarre. It's a bit weird playing one of these sorts of games like that. I'm not saying the game doesn't have some neat ideas as well. Like, there's a special trap in the game which can either be a shop or a boss fight, which is an interesting concept. Especially when you want a shop, but you get a duel. And then there was this one time where I was going into the... what do you call it? I was going into every trap like that I could find, hoping for a boss fight, just so I could get a few extra job points and experience. But I ended up in a position where I was getting shops every single time. Kind of driving me mad, actually. Icky drink. We might as well see what it is. It's not gonna hurt me. Regular old potion. Cool. At least it saves me a little bit of healing to do. Floor 9. This is pretty much the entire thing. I mean, there is the 20-something floor dungeon that I played that was based entirely around fire monsters and had those traps I was talking about. They're not here because it's a remembrance dungeon. Remembrance dungeons just don't have this shit. Okay, I've been silenced for a bit, which means I can't use abilities for a little while, but that's not a big deal. Not a big deal. It goes away pretty quick. And again, the only real difference between this game and this difficulty, I should say, and the hard difficulty is that enemies hit harder, but they don't hit very hard to begin with. So it really is just surprisingly easy. And I'm kind of disappointed at that, because I was hoping that it would be I was hoping that it'd be harder than it was. I've only died once, and that was because for some reason my Phoenix Down didn't trigger. I'm not entirely sure why the Phoenix Down didn't trigger automatically when I died. I guess I have to use it before I die? But yeah, that's the only time I've actually died. So maybe it would be a bit harder if I was playing on hard difficulty, but well, honestly, it's so thin on the ground that it's kind of hard to imagine this game being too much harder anyway. The stink trap missed me, thank God. It's okay, it's just surprisingly shallow. Alright, we got a boss fight ahead. You know what, fuck it, let's just go straight down. I'm doing pretty well, there's no reason for me not to just avoid that combat altogether. Okay, Sahagin Shade. Fair enough. I think we're gonna pop on the Aegis Shield first, give myself a little bit of extra physical defense, and we'll just start burning all the SP we can. This is a Sahagin, though. knows, so it's probably not weak to fire. Let's use the slow strike. And just waffle on it. Shame I don't have anything in the way of explosives. Do I have anything in the way of explosives? I have an acrid drink. Oh. Cool. Wind damage, please. That didn't actually do too much. That's what spellbooks are. They're just like portable spells. Yeah, we'll do silence too. No effect. Great. Never understood the why silence books are just like never effective on bosses. You would think that would be the one place you want to use it. Oh yeah, also buddies, they can actually like lose all their health and die, but the problem is that they kind of end up in a bad situation. Well, what am I talking about? It's not a bad situation at all. God, my brain needs to actually think before I say anything. So let me just think about what I'm going to say here. When they die, they come back on the next floor with half health. Erase. I wonder what that is meant to do. Alright, we'll give you a potion first. Actually, no, hang on. Face him forward. Use his flame breath. Okay, now I can give him his potion. Let's not waste the turn. Take that. There you go. And now we can use another item to slow him down again. And we go back on the attack for a while. Tried, it's just a pushback, nothing to worry about. I'm guessing Erase might get rid of like positive buffs. That would be my best guess as to what that does. Right, he's speedy again. Let's use another book. And I have plenty of other items that I can use if I need to, but yeah, there was no way he wasn't close to death at that point. Grab gold talons, gold saddle, tons of money, and we get to leave this dungeon. Yep, if you kick an item, you know, deal damage and weaken foes, and yeah. All very basic mechanics. Oh cool, I unlocked a new class, the Dragoon. And I also unlocked some memories. The game's plot is very simple. Everyone's in a town where every time this bell rings, they lose their memories. And it's obviously being conducted by some shady character behind the scenes. It's just... yeah, it's also quite slow to reveal on that.
I won't give up. I won't cry anymore. I pray to the guardian beast of water and to the water crystal.
Okay, this girl's the master of water. So I assume she'll unlock the next major dungeon for us, and we can go around, we can check on all our stuff, we can do everything we need to, and then we can just take another dive into the next dungeon, because why not? Also, you're creepy, get away from me with those eyes.
Chocobo, thank you.
The Chocobo still manages to be absolutely adorable. The voice acting is okay. It's very clearly meant to be a kind of like upbeat, lighthearted style. But basically the Chocobo being so cute makes up for this entire game's atmosphere being slightly generic outside of the Final Fantasy stuff. Yep, I can bring her along as a buddy now.
Welcome.
And the next cutscene will probably happen at the water fountain just to the north of here.
You.
Look at his tails.
Yeah. Miss Maya, you have to fix the... Of course.
5 of those tails.
Gosh, what's that like? Oh, the water. You see. So
Yep,
you're
she's
just
the Oracle of Water.
Come on. I know.
And this is probably the guy...
Hey, wait up!
This is probably the weird baby that hatched from an egg that somehow is a full person now. This is probably him leading us to where the second dungeon is. Like, without fail. I would hope, anyway.
Huh? This is...
It's an secret, apparently.
This...
Yep, this is where the Temple of Water is located. This will be the second major dungeon in the game.
Chocobo! Here... Wait!
And he's gone. Yeah, I'm not even going to go in there just yet. That is a terrible idea. Ooh! I can go show off fishing. Because it's ridiculous. I just need to go straight back in because the loading zone is very small. Yes, this is how Chocobo fish, apparently. That's actually amazing. Damn, I missed. That's alright, I still got a fish. Oh, it's a mystery letter, okay. Nope, that was a bad miss, that one. We're gonna get a proper fish, damn it. I called it greedy, that'll do. Because I can actually use those fish to increase my storage space, as I said in the beginning of the video, but we won't worry about doing that right now. So, the one thing that does happen when you come back to the town of Lost Time, yes, that is honestly a terrible name, very cringeworthy, is that all our items get identified. So, we got a gold saddle, we got 2 gold saddles and some gold talons. Those are actually really useful, because now I can make my blind talons immune to rust as well. But what else did I get? 2 fatigue collars. That's not great. And collar that remembers maps you've seen, so that would make amnesia completely useless on me. That's pretty much everything else I got as well. Okay. We'll head up this way because I want to go to the forge and make my stuff rust-proof, because we were just facing water types, and if anyone who's played these kind of roguelikes knows anything, that means they're about to start giving us fucking, they're about to start giving us enemies that rust. So yeah, we definitely want to do that just while we're here. I can also remove brands if I want to, but there's no real reason to. Okay, back out we go. So yeah, there's another Remembrance dungeon here, and there's another one back at the bloody home. Oh, you've got a new bag available, sweet. Cool, I'll take that. Alright, I will sell these gold saddles because I don't need them. Also don't need these fatigue collars. Don't really need that memory collar. Medicine that inflicts poison. That's actually kind of useful. I'll hold on to that. Teleport wings, warp wings. Bomb shards, which are useful, so they're not really worth the money. Stone used to summon a phoenix. Fully restores Chocobo's HP and casts raise. That's actually really useful. Yep, and flowers grants raise when eaten. Right, so you actually have to eat it before you die. That explains why I died. Cool. So, I've got rust on everything, and I know I need to fight stuff that's... what's the word? I know I'll be fighting stuff that's water-based, based purely on the fact that they started introducing them in that dungeon, and that is spawned inside a water dungeon, so I'll need to bring along something that's good at electricity. And I'll buy a couple of potions just to be safe. There are a lot of remembrance dungeons in this game as well, which is really annoying because since they're so repetitive, like, sure, they give you special challenges sometimes, like you can only be level 10 and the level is filled with bombs and stuff like that. But they also get really repetitive. Like, they all have the same visual styling and they all don't have things like the special traps and stuff, so it just makes them kind of boring. Show this to the Guardian Beast of Water. He's still adorable, despite the fact that he just ate that. The water armband. Cool. So, if I find a locked door in here, I can just go straight through it. Although I honestly don't see the point, considering I wasn't able to access this dungeon before. But okay. Alright, Guardian of the Water. So, at least this dungeon looks different. It's also 30 floors, because holy shit. That's nowhere near as bad as, like, there's a den of monsters up ahead, using abilities and items. Pay attention to your brands, and be sure to pack a few good items, and don't forget your teleport wings. Cool. So I'm pretty sure that's the end of that. What's the Dragoon got? Attack a foe up to 2 tiles ahead of you. You know what, screw that, we're going with the Black Mage for this one, because he has Thunder, which is effective against water. With that being said, though, we might want to swap to something that's not fire-related. Oh, that's the shortcut. Every 10 floors you go down, you can come back to that. But, alright, let's go and swap to something that's good against water. Do I have anything that's good against water? What's his ability? Miraculous Shell. That's just damage. He might be useful to take as a tank. Dragons. No, I don't have, not yet. I could take along Grenade, but that would probably be a bad idea. Goblin Punch, Goblin Shield, and Fire. Nice. Demons, Demon Eye, that would be pretty useful, actually. Sahagin, that would be... I mean, it's water versus water. It wouldn't hurt too much. Oh. Alright, let's do it. Let's go in. 2 magics. Why not? Also, you don't actually upgrade your SP in this game when you level up. You actually get it, like, at the end of dungeons. Which is kind of annoying, if I'm being perfectly honest. Because you don't start out with much, and it just doesn't get that much better. Right, let's just make sure we can both attack this guy. That shell is annoying. Screw it. I bring the thunder. And I also bring the explosions. Fuck. Okay. That's another explosion trap there. Playing this game on the analog sticks is kind of hard. Just purely because of, you know, its impreciseness in comparison to the D-pad. We can use the D-pad if we like, though. Honestly, I probably should be using that considering that I'm on the... Oh, no. Okay, poison's a thing that we have to deal with now. I mean, we can wait it out. That isn't very dangerous poison at all. Screw it. Let's just head straight on to the next floor. No item rotting, which is... Oh, I'm silenced. That's not great. Okay, hang on. Yeah, we both face him, then he unleashes the thunder. Ow. The anti-poison saddle, that might actually be useful. Although I'd probably have to go and get a, hang on, I can use thunder at long range. There we go. Strangely enough, the actual level up music for Final Fantasy isn't on the... It isn't on the level up, or it's not even on the job level up. It's on the leveling up with monsters. Which is a little bizarre, but whatever. And now I can use thunder. Really should be using my shortcut keys. Those are actually useful. Oh, buddy points. There we go. Just, yeah, thunder one of them, please. That'll do. Cool. No, screw it, we'll just head up the exit. What are you doing here, you little bastard? That's an alarm trap, but it failed to trigger. Or it was a lure. One or the other. So it's just... It's a decent enough roguelike, but it's super thin on the ground. That's its major issue. It really isn't that great in mechanical depth. And that's kind of the thing you want with roguelikes, just because you want them to be as deep as possible, because as cool as, like, this turn-based sort of combat and dungeon crawling is, it does eventually get repetitive if you don't have a ton of stuff working for you. In this game in particular, there's a bunch of stuff missing from more traditional roguelikes, i.e. Shiren the Wanderer, that you just end up thinking that it ends up feeling a bit thin. With that said though, if you've never played a roguelike before, that's probably not going to be a problem. Abilities always hit, by the way, by the looks of it, even when they're blinded. But yeah, it's just... If it's your first roguelike, if it's your first, like, real jump into a game like this, then it's probably not going to be that big of a problem. However, if you've played any games like this before, you'll mainly be getting by on how adorable the Chocobo is. Like, look, his costume even changes when you change classes, so he's got the Black Mage hat on. And it remains adorable. Let's get out of here. You can also escape on every floor, which seems a bit much, if I'm being perfectly honest. Plentiful drink, what's that? Oh, it's that's one of the unidentified ones. Okay. Do I have anything I can use this polishing cream on? Negatory. I'm also apparently wearing an anti-poison collar, which is actually very good for me, considering everything on this bloody dungeon does poison. Whoa! Okay, that's a problem. Oh, crap. Right. Use Thunder. And use Thunder. That's more like it. Oh, I didn't mean to attack him. There we go. That actually could have ended a lot worse. Not gonna lie. Might as well eat these. Probably poisoned. Oh no, they're just regular old greens. Screw it. Thunder. Thank you for bringing the thunder. And now I can bring along Scissors as my buddy. Let's not step on that. No, no point. Use thunder. I'm just gonna stand in place for a while and heal up. That'll do. Haven't even seen, like, the shop duel traps yet, which is kind of disappointing. I was hoping to show one of them off. Okay, hang on. We need to give him room to... Oh, dear. Yeah, you use Thunder. I'll just take a swing. One down, I suppose. 2, 3. Both of these are probably going to die in one shot. Or two. No, no, they're both down. And we are surprisingly low on health, but then again, we aren't meant to get into physical combat. Kind of why mages suck to begin with, because you get so little SP that you can't really do much with them. There is a white mage class, as far as I'm aware. Maybe if your green's not, we'll save them. 76% isn't too bad. Warp wings. I'm pretty sure those just take me anywhere on the current floor. There we go. You can get that potion and get off this floor if I can. Couldn't carry it. Awesome. Great. I'll just kick it into him to make it so that he'll actually survive a little bit longer. So we'll just take the opportunity to run for it. This is what your buddies are useful for, taking the hits. Or at least some of them. Run. Let's heal up. No, never mind. That's a torpedo. We do not want him to self-destruct. So we'll just... There we go. Bring the thunder as always, and... Oh, god damn it, why? Where are all these guys coming from, damn it? Alright. You get thundered. I can't actually move. There we go. Alright, we'll have to deal with that. We can't... Oh, good. Might as well use it. I'm not taking it with me. There's the kind of trap I was talking about. Let's see what's in here. I didn't actually see it, so let's see if this is a shop or a duel. It's a duel! Okay. This is a boss fight. It's pretty much exactly what you expect. Like, it's... Bring the thunder. That did nothing. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Right. Now, can you, like, face towards him, please? Because if you don't face towards it, now I'm in trouble. Right. Sleep now. While I just wander up and figure out what the fuck I do next. Let's see. Well, I'll blind him. That's a good start. But he woke up. Not so much. Used Hunger Strike on the wrong dude, and now you're paying for it. Thunder ain't doing too much. That's not great. Alright, yeah, let's slow him down. I still got that slow book, don't I? Nope, I used all of it. What else do I have? Potions, ethers. Poison drinks. Perfect. I'll do some damage to him. Rust in pieces. Yep. I am super happy that I do not have, I'm super happy that I have rust protection at this point. You just can't stop using the wrong spell or the wrong thing at the wrong time, can you? Okay, so yeah, thunder doesn't work, so what would work against this guy? I have no idea. Might be... Oh, fuck it, we'll put him to sleep. Yeah, we'll just take some shots. That didn't actually help much. Might as well just stay on the attack then. He says, beating the ever-loving bejesus out of the thing. And I can now bring a ghost along as my buddy. Cool. And I can't carry these, so I might as well eat them. Well, we've been at this for 55 minutes already, so I don't think there's any point in going any further. You've seen everything there is to see, in all honesty. Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, everybody, is a decent roguelike. The main problem with it is that it's not that mechanically deep. So you just kind of end up in a position where the game starts to feel a bit dull just because of how repetitive it is. And if you've played a game like... wow, that's a lot of home slots. That would be really useful if I could uncurse that, which I can, but I'm just not going to. But if you haven't played a Shiren the Wanderer style game before, this is pretty good for you. If you have, you'll be missing a lot of the mechanics that make those games really stand out along the lines of, like, pots, item interactions, all sorts of different, like, item creation utilities. The overall difficulty is a lot lower, I imagine even on hard mode. Just stuff like that, you know? But if you haven't played a roguelike before, and by roguelike I mean a proper roguelike, and you're looking for one that's not going to absolutely wipe the floor with you, this is actually pretty good. I'll give it credit for that. And the Chocobo is adorable. You get bonus points just for having an absolutely adorable protagonist. Just the sweetest, cutest little thing. Like, watch this. This is a thing you can do. I have no words. It's just the most fucking adorable thing I've seen on the Switch. Look, they even wave bye to each other. And you can get on the slide too. Hello, little girl. Do you like the slide? Yes, I do like the slide. That's just a thing you can do. They knew Chocobo was cute, so they are playing it up to no end. It's just... it's amazing. Also, there is also some extra content that I haven't quite gone over. So if we head back towards town, not town, sorry, if we head back towards home, which is just down here. So yeah, we've been to the pond already. So as you can see, some of my flowers have indeed grown, and you can just go back and do that every time you hop in the dungeon, and you can keep getting flowers, which are really useful. But the silo here actually has a... I'm like 90% sure that this here is a bonus dungeon, but I have to do one of those remembrance dungeons before I actually am able to access it. So it's not like it's completely lacking on side content. It just seems like the side content is mainly those remembrance dungeons, which is kind of annoying, but yeah. Again, not bad, just not that mechanically deep, and a lot easier than your traditional roguelike. But with that being said, if you haven't played these games before, this is as good a start as any. As long as you move on to something better like Shiren after you finish this one, because damn. I wonder when Shiren 5 is going to show up on the Switch. I mean, you would think that Spike Chunsoft would be all over this. Spike Chunsoft didn't even make this though. This is entirely a Square affair, which is bizarre. Anyway, this has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.